Today, we're celebrating a special day, which is very dear to us because there's a devotee who's part of our family, who's very dear to us. Today is the birthday of, well, it's close enough. We're celebrating Srimati Kanka Devi's birthday today. Hare Krishna. In his teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a schema indicating the rarity of those who take to the process of pure devotional service. He started with the population of all the living entities. Some of them are humans, very few. Out of them, very few are interested in religious principles. Out of those, some are serious about religious principles. And out of those, there are fewer still that are devotees of the Supreme. And out of them, there are very fewer still of those who are aware of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who are engaged in the process of pure devotional service. Well, Prabhupada performed a miracle in this world, but he didn't do it alone. He did it because there are some very special souls who came to his aid when he had no money and no place to stay, and who gave their entire lives to serve him. And Kanka Devi is one of those devotees, the rarest of the rare, who are servants of the servant of a genuine, pure devotee, Acharya. She joined the Krishna consciousness movement when she was an adolescent, and she's been serving Srila Prabhupada faithfully all these decades, almost 60 years, 6 decades of dedication to the service of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. We know her nature because we see her regularly. One aspect of her nature is that she's steady. She has to drive a long way to come here, but she never misses. And another is that she's always remembering Srila Prabhupada. Whenever we discuss Krishna consciousness, she always has an anecdote remembering Srila Prabhupada, and that's the best association one can have, especially in our Krishna consciousness movement, those who have lived this life in dedication to Srila Prabhupada and who are actually there, and who can remember the moods and methods. Those nuances are what enriches the system of parampara, that we're in the midst, we're with somebody who has that mood and it carries it forward. So on this very special occasion, although Nirkula told me it was Friday, we're so grateful to you, Kanka Devi, for your example of pure devotional service. Prabhupada was very proud of his Vaishnava disciples. And I couldn't imagine him being any more proud of you and the way you've carried the dignity of this parampara as a representative of His divine grace for your whole life. And we're unlimitedly grateful that you're part of this community and that you've been dedicatedly coming here and contributing and teaching and giving your association for so many years. We thank you very much, and on your birthday, although a crow can never benedict a sacred Surabi cow, on behalf of all the devotees here, I therefore offer a prayer that we may always have your association, if it so pleases Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, that we can follow in your footsteps and your staunch determination to serve Srila Prabhupada. And we pray that you have unlimited service for, I can't say how old you are, but I would say for at least another 75 years. And we have a couple of gifts from the whole community. There are a couple of Mahaprasadam cups here that the Lord has used for many years. And then there's something, a personal gift for you. It's from the hearts of all the devotees here. And Nirkula will bring it to you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita is so important. We have God-given intelligence, but it needs tuning. We need tuning. We're an instrument. The human body is this instrument that, when tuned, can resonate with spiritual sound. Before it's tuned, it's accustomed to hearing sound which is considered destructive. There is a kind of sound called perfective. Means that by hearing it, one becomes tuned in such a way that one can rediscover one's self and the source of oneself. The sound vibration that's especially important for the modern age. Since 5,000 years, it's been available through the parampara system, the Bhagavad Gita. So it's a conversation by Krishna, with Krishna and Arjuna. I particularly am touched by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching to Sanatana Goswami, in which he says that by speaking the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Lord Krishna has saved the entire world. One conversation. That's the significance of the speaking of God, Krishna. Every word is for the upliftment of those who hear it. And Jiva Goswami, in his appreciation of Bhagavad Gita, says that the devotees always meditate on Krishna's promise in 1866 that for those who surrender to me, I will deliver them. Don't worry. It's hard not to worry in this world because we're playing defense the whole time against the material nature. And although we take shelter of insurance policies and trying to get on one of those longevity programs so you can live to at least 100 years with full vigor. We still know that we're helpless swimmers in an ocean. And when I first saw the Bhagavad Gita as it is, I noted the picture of a devotee who was in that ocean reaching up and Krishna reaching down to pull that person up. Because I felt like that myself, that the material world's overwhelmingly scary because it ends in death. And we don't know what that means until we read the Bhagavad Gita. And it also struck me that the Bhagavad Gita as it is was very specific about how Krishna is a person. You know, when Srila Prabhupada had brought forward the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, he wanted it to have these pictures showing the form of God. In many realms, this is considered taboo, that it's an offense to consider the form of God. Idolatry. But this is only in the absence of a clear conception of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In a conversation Srila Prabhupada had with a famous personality named Yogi Bhajan, who was in Los Angeles. Yogi used to come to the temple there sometimes. He had a huge following, probably still does. And he had come to invite Prabhupada to a convention in which many spiritualists had been invited from around the world. Most of the names you could trace back to their Mayavadi roots. And in the conversation, which is a good conversation to listen to, at least a few times, Prabhupada wants to know the topic of the seminar. And Yogi Bhajan said, he'll discuss God. And Prabhupada wanted to know what were the specifics of that discussion. Who would we say God is? And Yogi Bhajan hesitated and he said, well, everyone has their own conception. And Prabhupada said, well, give me one of them. But he wasn't able to do that. And when he felt the power of Prabhupada's argument that if you don't have a conception, Prabhupada said, then take this. Why would you hesitate? And Yogi Bhajan, trying to be conciliatory, mentioned how in the Granth Sahib there was mention of Govinda. So then Prabhupada grasped that and he kept saying, then you should take that. But he was hesitant. Yogi Bhajan was hesitant to say something specific or define God in a specific way, which is problematic. Because until there's a clear conception of God, then we have nothing to meditate on. We can't meditate on the air. We're persons, and we also, as living beings, crave love above everything, and also beauty. If you've ever been in a situation where you were given the best kind of food or prasadam, but then it was the same thing every day, even the most delectable food, if it becomes, of course, khichdi, that's a different thing. If you have papadam, I mean, you might want to have a different kind of achar. Some variety, but you can become bored after some time. This ananda comes from variety. and specificity, the amorphousness of a long-haul flight in a fuselage of an airplane going 700 miles an hour. Prabhupada noted many times, he said, why do we want to get down? And I remember one time flying from a long distance, and when we were coming into San Francisco, I could see trees and waterways, and the pilot said we're about to touch down on terra firma. And I thought, I just can't wait to get my feet on the ground and see the sunlight and behold the trees and so forth. So that's the nature of the living force, is we want specificity, we want variety, we want love. And that can only be embodied in a person. We can't love the air, we can't love something impersonal. Therefore, so many Bhagavad Gitas in the past had hedged when it came to talking about the personality of Godhead. And they had said, some commentators, that it's not to the person. That's temporary, like everybody else and everything else. Therefore, there's an unborn within the form of Krishna that we should worship and think about. However, Prabhupada didn't do that. He presented the Bhagavad Gita straightforwardly and even painted pictures, or had his followers paint pictures, and would label them, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here's his universal form, here's his two-arm form, here's his four-arm form, and so forth. And that's a great benefit for us. Now, there's a science which is also important in tuning ourselves to understand the form of God, or how he comes to the world in the first place. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the 4th chapter, 9th verse, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyakva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjana. And this is in the translation, but it's a question. Is it too warm in here? There's another Sanskrit verse for asking that. And sometimes we think, well, you only hear that verse on Janmashtami. But there's a very important point that Krishna is making in the Bhagavad Gita, and that is about understanding his personality. That he does come into this world personally, but it's not in an ordinary way. It's divyam, or divine. The way in which other living beings take birth in this world is by the force of the material nature. Karmana daiva netrena jantor deho papate striya pravishta udaram punsa reta ganashraya. Kapila Deva explains to his mother in the 3rd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam that an ordinary living being, although part and parcel of Krishna, same in quality, but because of being small, is subjected to the more powerful energy of the material nature. And karmana daiva netrena is allotted a particular position in the material nature according to their consciousness at the time of death. Something Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita about how we develop a cluster of various impressions that form into a cloud-like mass. And just as a rain cloud, we've seen a few of them lately, some really beautiful ones on the horizon coming in. It condenses more and more, and then it pours down the rain. So similarly, when we transfer from this present body into the next body, that cluster of emotions and thoughts that we've collected due to our interaction with various entities in this world, it pours forth. And karmana daimanetrina, by the force of that cloudburst, we're given, are facilitated with the next body by what? By daiva. There's a higher authority. At that point, when we leave the body, we have nothing to do with it. No more, that's your test time. I can remember so many times taking tests, studying up to the last second, until the teacher said, put everything away, take out a number 2 pencil. I don't know if they still have those. Do they? I don't know what it is with the number 2 thing, but it's ingrained in my consciousness. And at that point, it's everything I had prepared for up to that second. And I remember not preparing as much for a test, in as much as I thought on the way there, I didn't have to keep repeating and remembering. And even when I was waiting in line to get in the classroom, and then when I sat down, I wasn't intense. And then when she said, pick up the number 2 pencil, put everything away, I realized I could have used that last gap to be more ready. And then I said, never again. I'm waiting until I hear that sentence, put away everything, pick up your number 2 pencil. So the human life is a test. And we have the opportunity now to tune ourselves, to prepare ourselves. And the way to do that is by first fortifying our intelligence to understand that there is a source of perfect knowledge. To make progress in any discipline, one has to have a self-revealing source of knowledge. Otherwise, we get into what Plato talked about was infinite regress. You can never make progress. Deconstructionism, in the ways of many philosophers who said you can never get anywhere. The word skeptical comes from a group of people, Greeks, called the skeptics, who in the matter of epistemology said you really can't come to know anything. There's a whole school of thought like that. But since we're rational, and that there's a rational process to come to understand that there is a source of knowledge and we have to accept it. And Bhagavad Gita is that perfect source of knowledge. It's self-revealing. When we read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking directly to us. And he gives this statement that if you understand my birth and activities, then you'll also become transcendental to the force of material nature. So much so that you'll be exempted from this daiva force that makes you take another physical body in this material world, which is suffering. It's great suffering for the soul to be entrapped here. So that brings us to the next verse, which says, in which Krishna says at 4:10, Vitaraga bhayakroda manmaya mamupashrita bahavo jnana tapasa putamad bhavamagataha. And in this verse, we hear the phrase jnana tapasa. This means the austerity that one takes to try to figure out how it is that Krishna takes birth in this material world and how it's transcendental. This is according to our previous acharyas who are analyzing this verse. Jnana tapasa, to apply your intelligence to understand the utterances of the sages and of the original Shruti and the Smriti. This is called Jnana Tapasa. Take that austerity to understand. And they say also that from that endeavor to understand Krishna and how he takes birth and is not subjected to the forces of material nature like ordinary living beings, and how his activities are transcendental, then one becomes free from raga, unnatural, irrational attachment to the temporary world, bhaya, fear of one's personhood and relationships with God, and krodha, frustration because of various incomplete philosophies which don't bring one to Vedanta, or a conclusion of knowledge. But our acharyas also say something very interesting about Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, which is that when one is engaged in jnana tapasa, trying to understand Krishna, and is also engaged in service, then they're not attached to those who have speculative ideas about the purpose of life. He says they also don't become angry at them. They're detached from them. They know that people who don't have access to Bhagavad Gita and so forth may start a YouTube channel. I mean, everyone has one, practically, in the world, and give their own opinion. But Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, the devotee's not affected by all these speculations, nor are they afraid of the onslaught of ignorance in the material world, because they have fortified their intelligence by hearing from the Guru Parampara and the Shastra. And this is the Jnana Tapasa. This is one of the explanations that our acharyas, Baladev Vidyabhusan and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, give about the meaning of that verse. And so we're in an ideal situation that we have the opportunity to see the form of Krishna and also to hear the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And oftentimes, I would say more than often, I would say there's a perpetual complaint that I myself have, and I hear coming from everybody in the world that I meet, and that is that it's hard. This material world is difficult. But it doesn't have to be, because Bhagavad Gita has potencies. The topics which explain how Krishna is not part of this world, about how he's divine, have potencies, the likes of which lift us out of the suffering of this material world and bring us to the same position as Krishna is in, just by hearing. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we're advised to, therefore, dedicate our activities to hearing about Krishna and to use our intelligence to understand how it is that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how it is that the origin of everything is a person. That's what the intelligence is meant for. So we have to use our intelligence for that purpose. And in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives this admonition, Siddhanta Bala Chitana Akara Alash, Iha Hoite Krishna Lage Sudrid Manash, that you should be alacritous in understanding Krishna. And he also said, I gave the positive side. I'll tell you the more pressing side of what he said. He said, don't be lazy. And then afterwards complain that my life's messed up. Because you have to do your due diligence. That's the other part of being a human being. Human beings are generally asked to do their due diligence just to get a job. Don't you have to do some due diligence to get a job? Yeah, only kindergarten 1 through 6, then junior high school, then high school, then you got to do undergraduate, then nowadays, lots of graduate work. What to speak of then looking for a job. And then the hard part comes, is keeping it. I mean, that's a lot of due diligence for one little spark of the Supreme here in this material world. So the Bhagavad Gita says, do your due diligence here in trying to understand the divinity of God, try to understand his personality and how he's a person. And what's more, the more one engages one's intelligence in trying to understand Krishna, and also hearing about Krishna, the nested stories of the Bhagavatam, story within story, can grab your imagination and intelligence, and it's infused with philosophical points that astound our minds and intelligences, because at intervals we'll think, how did they know me so well? In fact, this book, Bhagavatam, knows me better than I know myself. And in that interaction with Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing the Jnana Tapasya, doing this austerity of hearing and trying to understand Krishna, come to a Siddhanta, a clear conception of who the Supreme is. And there's no dearth of knowledge. We have not just the Shastras themselves, but we have explanations of the Shastras that tie up all the loose ends. For instance, that's what the Goswamis of Vrindavan did. And we're in their family. They left that for us. That's our inheritance. That's our legacy. Jiva Goswami particularly tells about how it's possible to understand transcendental knowledge. He gives the Tattva Sandarbha, and then the Bhagavat Sandarbha, the Bhakti Sandarbha, the Paramatma Sandarbha, the Priti Sandarbha, all of which describe categorically how we can love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how there's 3 steps to doing that. Sambandha, Abhideya, Sambandha means understanding our relationship, which you can do. And then there's Abhideya, which is how to practice. And then Prayojana, which means you'll come to the perfection of that. And therefore, it's important for those who wish to not miss the boat to take full advantage of hearing about Krishna, trying to understand him. Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami says, Vikriditam vraja vadurbira, idam cha Vishnu shradhanvito nashinayad atavarna yadya, bhaktim param bhagavati pratilavya kamam hridrogam ashva pahinot yacharin adhira. Should be a little sober to realize the kind of jam we're in here in this world. He says that the sound vibration of the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of potencies. I like that. Everyone's looking for some potency. Like, people take a drug because, like, what's it going to do? They want to know, right? And if it has a profound effect on you, then it becomes a bestseller. Or certain kinds of music, if it has some effect on you, then we want some effect from the environment, from our interactions with the world. But the greatest of all interactions is with Krishna, and that's accessible, amazingly accessible. And that is, Vikriditam Vrajavadur Idam cha Vishnu Shradhanvito Nashinayad. If you have a little context about how the world works, there's a material energy and a spiritual energy. And when you're in the material energy, you suffer. And when you're able to contact the spiritual energy, then you're in luck. Who wouldn't want that? And so it says, if you have Shraddhanvito Nashrindayat Atavarnayadya, then apply yourself to hearing. Because the topic itself has the potency. It's like there's an active ingredient in a mint. What is it? That's right. And if you get a mint that doesn't have any mint left in it, it's very disappointing. That's the material world. The mint's all gone. It looks like a mint, but you don't get any. It's like I heard something about soda. Soda's really popular, right? Yes. It's very popular. People drink billions of gallons of it every day. But I heard an interview with somebody who was in the inside of the industry, and they're saying the reason they like it is because of the fizz. Try drinking. Well, don't do this really, but. I see in India Fanta, orange Fanta. That's a thing, right? Yeah. Hansapriya taught me about that years ago. She didn't give me any, but I saw it somewhere. She said, yeah, people like that. And people here, they like weird drinks. Like there's Coca-Cola. The only reason they like it is because, number one, it's psychological. Because when they look at the signpost for Coca-Cola, and this is true in India too, they have somebody going like this, and they're never an ugly person. But if they keep doing that, I'm not so sure how they're going to look later. But there's a psychological draw that, okay, the drink, we like that. I take a drink and then I'll turn into something better. That's the implication of the advertising. If you drink this, then you'll run on the beach with people who look like that. And then the other part, just the tasting part, it's about the fizz. Because if you've ever had the great opportunity to drink a soda after the fizz is gone, the cap was undone, it sat there for a few days, and then you drink the soda, like, I can't get any bhav out of this. So we want something that uplifts us. So Shraddhanvito Nashrindayat Atavarnayadya Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilabhyukamam. The only direction we can go in where we can get what we're after, that exhilarating taste that we're looking for in all the wrong places, it comes from the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially hearing about the personality of Godhead. This was the point that Narada made to Srila Vyasadeva after Vyasa had worked very hard to compile many literatures about Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and even the Upasana Kanda. Narada said, you didn't go far enough, you need to have more detail. And we have the details. The Srimad Bhagavatam's there, and then it goes further. We find this out in the Chaitanya Charitamrita when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks to Ramananda Roy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed it to everybody, how far you can go in this topic. And you get to take it for granted, even if you don't have taste, somebody does, and it's available. And you have to get it. Otherwise, you're stranded. So don't stop swimming for it. You got to reach the shore. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu interviews Ramananda Roy, who's the most qualified person because he's the internal associate of Krishna in the spiritual world, he asks him, so what's the deal? How do you get that? What's the best thing? And he starts off with dispensing with a bunch of things like, well, he says, you should take up varnashrama. Meh. You should give up the varna and the ashram. Meh. You should take the Gyan Misha Bhakti. Meh. Karma Misha Bhakti, Gyan Misha Bhakti. No. Then he said, Gyane Parayasa Mudapasya Namanta Eva. Jivanti San Mukharitam Bhavadiya Vartam. Stane stita shrutikatam tanuvan manobirye prayaso jita jito pyasitaistu lokam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, now we're getting somewhere. And in the verse, it's talking about what I'm saying. I'm just trying to follow this thread that Jivanti san mukaditam bhavati avartam. He says, stanestita, wherever you are now, take up the process of hearing from Bhagavad Gita Srimad Bhagavatam. Stanestita shrutigatam tanuvan manobir. And he said, somehow or other, try to stay alive, maintain your life so that you can do this. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it comes to the conclusion in the verse that the potency is so strong, the hearing from hearing these literatures, it's so strong that you'll not just become a lover of God. It's not what it says. It says, jita jito pyasitaishri lokyam, that God will become attached to you. And how would you attract the Supreme Personality of Godhead to, as it says here, how would you conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Well, the answer is out of love. And it indicates that you'll attain that status by simply hearing, because it has so much potency. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, tell me more. And that's when Ramananda Roy goes into detail about the ways in which we have relationships with Krishna in the spiritual world. Now this is necessary because as conscious living beings, our nature is to love. And love requires interaction. With whom? With Krishna. So he describes how there are 5 different relationships we can have with Krishna. One is called Shantaras, neutrality. It's just a sense of appreciation for the Supreme. But then when that gratitude for the Supreme crosses its limit, it turns into a sense of wanting to do service for that person who's the Supreme, Krishna. And there's an impetus. You might have noticed this sometime if you had a relationship with somebody where you're just sitting hearing them, maybe a teacher or something like that, and you thought, okay, I'll listen. And I'm really appreciating how refined they are. And then it crosses the boundary and you think, I want to do something for this person. Have you ever had that? Yes. That's Dasya Ras. So when you hear about Krishna, you'll know the potencies, you'll feel the potency because it's in the sound itself. And there's no way it won't lift you to the next level because it's so powerful. In fact, even people who accidentally hear about Krishna, they get lifted up also. What to speak of somebody who really leans into it. So beyond Dasya, there's a more intimate relationship that one has with Krishna, which is to be a friend. There are different kinds of friends. There's a nuance even, and there's a nuance in all of it, because unlimited nuance is what we were looking for. And there's friendships that one can have with Krishna. One of the characteristics of that relationship is that one considers oneself equal with God. Now this isn't the Mayavad idea that we're all God and that we just forgot, we're going to remember and then become God again. But it's the same kind of friendship that we see, not the same kind, it's similar to the friendship we see in this world in its quality, that when you have a good friend who you relate to, in friendship we relate as equals. The closest friendships are those that are so familiar that you might even berate that person in a loving way, and they would think that was a loving exchange. Like you can imagine that now, because I'm sure you have a friend and he's like, you idiot. And like, Ah, ha, ha, leave me alone. You're the idiot. Those kinds of exchanges where we feel that we are equal to the person. No guards are there are no guardrails. It's so close. If you sit next to the person, you bump into them. If you get on a plane, I hate it. It gets. I'm always watching the people coming on. It's like, don't let that guy sit here because he's got big, huge, hairy arms. And next thing, I'm going to be sitting there. And it's like, ow, I touched him. That's horrible. But when you're with your best friend, you're hanging out. You've got your, look at Krishna and Balaram. And friendship means familiarity. Then there's another element that comes in parenthood. This conception is not so common. It's in the culture of Vaishnavism and in the Shastras describing how one wants to do more for God, more service, and be nurturing towards Him. So all of the previous elements of appreciation, awe, and then feeling one wants to do service, and then being a friend, and then when one takes on a parental role, all of the others are included in that. It's like parents. They're friends with their kids, right? Say yes. Yeah. And also you serve them. I mean, who does more service than a mother? From the very time that the child is growing within the womb, she's thinking, I'm eating for two, and then there's the child's born, and then they're inseparable. And the service goes on for how many years? Still going, right? I remember. Yeah, I mean, my parents, they passed in their 90s, and they never stopped worrying about their kids and thinking how to take care of them on holidays, or buy a basket of persimmons or whatever it was. It's always there. That relationship we can have with Krishna. And then there's this Madhura Ras, which contains all the other ones. So these are different levels of intimate exchange we have with Krishna. Those are described in, we have Bhagavad Gita, and then we have Srimad Bhagavatam, which takes us through all the categories of the energies of the world, where the world comes from, how we fit into it, and then it introduces us to Krishna in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we have Chaitanya Charitamrita, where all those levels of connection or non-connection with the material world and our connection with Krishna are explained in much more detail. And even after that, we have Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava, Ujjvala Nilamani, and literatures that are so detailed and nuanced about our relationship with Krishna, or the relationship of those who are eternal associates of Krishna in the spiritual world. And by consuming them under guidance of an acharya and great teachers, there's a transformation that takes place within the temporary life of a being who's attached to all the wrong things in this world. Those things slough off by the process of hearing. And then gradually one develops what's the lifeline to the spiritual world is an attraction for it, and an attraction specifically to certain kinds of loving exchanges that Krishna has with his devotees. And then one's transformation is apparent. And Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvata. If you understand this tattva, or this category of knowledge, if you can apply your intelligence, and as he says in the next verse, jnana tapasa, you take the trouble to do this. Someone might think it's easier to listen to the radio and hear inane talks about inane subject matters in an inane world. But it's not easier. It's stifling to hear the sounds in the material world. In the beginning, it's seems as an austerity to take time to listen to Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. But it's medicinal. We have to take the medicine. We have to be dhira. We have to be serious and understand that it's highly consequential how we use our time in this lifetime. So that's why we formed the center here with the idea of making an ideal place where we could all come together, and then we could even go home and carry on the conversation, and then we can expand the conversation all over Silicon Valley by distributing books. I mean, how are we going to have a conversation with everyone in Silicon Valley unless everyone has a Bhagavad Gita? That's our first order of business. What do you think? Yeah. I mean, everyone in Silicon Valley should have at least have a look at it and have at least one copy in their home. Don't worry, I'm not working up to a fundraiser here. Krishna 10. So those are a few thoughts that are inspired by these verses, considering that we have senses, we have sensibilities, we have perhaps a little time on our hands. We don't know how much. But if you can use as much of it as possible in the time that you have to cultivate this, come to the safe side, transfer from attraction from the material world to the topics of Krishna and the potency. We don't have to figure out how it works, just like when you take medicine. I mean, you can study it if you want to. You know those things you get at the pharmacy when you open it up? It's like 50 pages. And there's some guy there. Of course, they don't really like to talk so much about it, but you know, what's in this? You'd have to go to study pharmacology to figure it out. And some people do. But you still don't know how it works. I don't think pharmacologists know how it works, or even know how a computer works for that matter. It just works. So you got to figure out what works, and this is it. This is what works. But try to get, talking to myself, to the safe side of life. Don't linger in the dangerous ocean of material nature, because any time the weather can change and the tide can change and we can be swept away. And then who knows what can happen. We're in the fold now, and even if you have some doubts, try to take advantage of what the sadhus, the sages have done since time immemorial, and live a life of inquiry about the Supreme and satisfy your intelligence, especially through the Bhagavad Gita. Those are a few thoughts, but over and above that, when we read the Chaitanya Charitamrita this year, in the time of Kartik, we started off, we read the Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We didn't have as much time as usual because of circumstances. We had 19 days to finish the whole Madhya Lila. And after 3 days, we figured out we're going to have to increase the time to do it. So we started early in the morning, and then we'd read all day long. There was at least 50 or 60 devotees there during the peak hours of hearing, and no one felt uncomfortable. Every time I'd look out at the audience, I'd see everyone felt satisfied and happy. And so we have to get that going. Everyone should have some plan to hear every day and stay in that flow of hearing and try to understand Krishna. Oh, and what was I going to say? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's apparent that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's main process was chanting Hare Krishna, Sankirtan. He told people all the time when they came to him with problems, they said, you know, somehow or other I was forced to transgress a religious principle, and then everyone's telling me different stuff. One person told me to drink hot ghee and die. Other people said it's no big deal, just keep doing what you do. And I'm confused. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, chant Hare Krishna. Other people were confused. They read too many books. and weren't sure what to do. Lord Chaitanya said, chant Hare Krishna. And he recommended it for everybody. All the potency is in the holy names, so that's something everyone can do also. Take time every morning, especially to chant. Chant when you wake up in the morning, and chant your rounds. Means get on a regulated schedule of chanting every day. Should have some beads. And on the beads, there's 108 on the normal string. And that's 108 mantras in a row. And what do you do after that? Turn around, go the other way. Keep doing it because there's potency in it. And you'll feel the potency, but you have to take some kind of responsibility for doing it every day. It really is a responsibility because we need people walking around the world who are enlightened. We don't need any more dullards in the world. None of you are dullards, but I'm just saying we have enough idiocy going on in the world right now. We've reached, it's gone over the edge. And the only counteraction to that, that's why we had a grain ceremony today. We're seriously cultivating in human beings at every step how to come to this level of consciousness so that we can be consequential in the world in helping people. And if we're not doing that, we're just part of the problem. What's more, we're being swept out to sea again. So we should vigorously fight against the urge just to conform to the status quo of the material world, which is to be attached, to be afraid, and to be angry. You should give those up. And how? By the power of jnana tapasa, by applying ourselves to hearing. It's not so hard. It just requires a little willpower. And by that, we'll transform in such a way that we can actually help other people to rise above the anomalies of the material world. And now we're going to chant Hare Krishna, because we have to at some point, just to stop me. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Girvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarni Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Shri Harinam Mantra Ki, Shri Harinam Prabhu Ki, Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. We started our reading in Govardhan Hill with a theme led by a specific verse, of which I can right now remember 3 lines. It goes, Smarantas smarayantascha mita gauga haram harim. Bhaktya sanjayata bhaktya. What's the last line? Just the first word. Bibrat yut pulakam tanum. The last line says that you'll experience transcendental symptoms in your body. Tanum means the body. And that means when we interact with the world, we experience various changes in our bodies, our heart palpitations, we can worry about things, we can become affected, and we can become affected by the power of transcendental experiences, interactions. It's one of the noticeable points made in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. In fact, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced extreme changes in his body because of his ecstasy and love of Krishna, in reaction to chanting and remembering Krishna and so forth. So bibrat yut pulakam tanum means your hair will stand on end. You'll feel ecstasy in your body. But why? I'm going backwards in the verse. It says bhaktya sanjayataya bhaktya means that one kind of bhakti, which is official bhakti, means that you don't really have more than an intellectual understanding of it. Your hair isn't standing on you, and yet you don't feel ecstasy. But as you continue it, then you'll change from that official kind of bhakti into the real life of bhakti. Just like when children grow up, they start to understand a lot of things they didn't understand before. And they couldn't have. They didn't have capacity. So in the beginning we don't have capacity, but bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya, from one kind of bhakti, another kind of bhakti emerges, it awakens, naturally. Now you're getting interested in the first 2 lines? Like how do we get there, right? It's good going backwards. So then the verse says that mito gauga haram harim. How do you become purified? Well, when I'm in impure state, I have all these discordant vibrations going on in my chitta, in my consciousness. And it's really hard to get them out. They're really banging around in there, and they're telling me to do, impelling me to do things that are even against my own self-interest. Even my intelligence will say, like, why are you doing this? And the rest of us, I don't know, I can't stop myself. This is the phenomena of being entrapped in material life, being a conditioned soul. But the verse is saying that what's causing us to be in such discord with our self-interest is because of an accumulation of these vibrations, the vibrations in the material world. And those all get cleaned up. It says, mito gauga haram harim. Oga, aga oga. Try saying that. Yeah. If you say it a few times, people think you're Tarzan or something. Aga oga. There's this horrible accumulation of the worst kinds of poisonous vibrations that you can ever imagine. It's awful. And it's what causes us to suffer. And all that gets cleaned up. How? Aha, we come to the first line. It says, smarantas smarayantas cha mita, means by meeting together in a group like this, or smaller, you can have 2 people if you want. And smaranta, remembering Krishna and causing other people to remember Krishna. Then, by that meeting, all of the unwanted things get destroyed within the heart. And our acharyas say, somebody asks, like, why? I say, because it pleases Krishna when he sees the devotees come together to remember and cause others to remember. And then by that process, one advances from official bhakti to real bhakti. One comes into one's real life. And then, bibrat yut pulakam tanum, then you start to feel ecstasy in your body. So this is what the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is. It's a society. It's far-reaching. We have a community here. And we've been tooling along here for a while. Since, we should have a thing on things, since 1998. I forget what year we incorporated, but as the International Society of Krishna Consciousness at Silicon Valley. But we can't give it up. It's too nice. And we're attached. And that's a good thing because our lives are sailing by and we get to skip all the bad stuff because all we have is good stuff. It's all association with devotees. So we invite everyone to join in, come as close as you can, not just in this room, but so we can't fit anymore. But also in your lives, come as close as you can to the vibration in association with devotees. Take advantage of it so that you don't miss anything and you don't waste any time. There's not much time at all. It's very quick. It's like a zip line. Oh, and I have a few points. I'm just going to make from the opportunity I had to walk with a very dear godbrother of mine at a holy place that was a eco-village. And I learned some village knowledge. Would you like to hear it? Yes. Village wisdom. So one thing is that there's a lake there, and there used to be ducks and geese. So compared to the the ducks, the geese look pretty graceful. And in fact, the leader of that place said, you should get some swans. But the brahmacharis who had put the other birds there said, no, there are already swans, because they saw the geese. So there was ducks and geese, and they thought the geese were swans until they brought the swans. It's the most graceful animal in the world. And that's when they realized how ugly the geese were. And there's a lesson in that. We don't know what we're missing till we see it. This is what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Vishaya vanivartante niraharasudehina rasavarjam rasopyasvat param drishva. You have to see something stunning. You have to experience it for yourself. Bibratyat pulakam tanum. Your hair has to stand on. It has to take your breath away. Your head has to spin. You need that. We need aesthetic beauty. It has to be so nice. But you don't know it. You think that what we have here, Taco Bell's fine. And all the wrangling that goes on in the material world, we think, oh, how interesting. But when you hear Bhagavat, when you hear the holy names, when you have actual association, see real beauty, then you know that everything else is ugly. There's another lesson from the swan, and that is that when it's in the water and you can see the reflection of it, there's no more graceful creature in the world. In fact, that's why when you see ballet, you always see Swan Lake. And they imitate the swan in their dancing. It's fantastic. But when the swan gets out of the water, it's one of the most awkward animals in the world. And it's part of the culture of Krishna consciousness is to act in your own strength and your own qualification. You don't have to do more, but just don't do less. Do what you can according to your nature in Krishna consciousness, and you'll be graceful. Doing as much as you can do right now, in whatever situation you're in now. Stane stita shruti. Stay in that mode of doing what you can with what you have. And don't do less, and also don't say, because I can't do everything, I won't do anything. And we should, in our community, be nurturing. I have more village wisdom. Should I keep going? Yes. Well, the leader of the organization there said we should have peacocks, because after all, this place is Vrindavan, so where are the peacocks? So they couldn't bring peacocks, but they brought peacock eggs. I thought, what will we do with peacock eggs? But then, amongst the chickens, a mother hen came out when she saw the eggs, and she sat on them. Not only did she sit on the eggs till they hatched, but then she raised those peacocks as her very own offspring and nurtured them. And even now, they see her as mother. And when we come together in a community, we have to do the needful to help to solace the souls of those who come here, our friends, our brethren, everyone who's here. We have to see that everyone's suffering in this material world, and the greatest of yogis are those who have compassion and appreciate the fact that it's a haunting place, this material world, and everyone needs love. And we should love and nurture everyone who comes and try to reach out to as many people as possible. Remember that gesture of the hen who just sat on the eggs and raised them and considered them her own. There's so much disparity in the world, and people, just based on what people's status is in the world or their particular bodies, they discriminate. That's not Vaishnavism. We see everyone as Krishnas, and we do the needful to try to make them feel included in whatever way we can. Do I have more? I do, but it's in my other notebook, and I can't remember the fourth thing. But there's a way in which, just in general, if we're attentive to the practice of hearing and chanting, and we look out into the world, we'll see a lesson in everything. Just as my godbrother who took us around could see Krishna in everything and brought it out to us. So we can always live in Krishna and be happy. Om Tat Sat. And now we have the Hare Krishna dance party. Never miss a chance to dance, because life is short, and the greatest expression is to dance to the sounds of the Lord's name. Just by that activity, anything that you're harboring in your heart will come flying out. Just like people, sometimes when they get too ecstatic, the car keys come out, and people pick it up. Mercedes, I'll take that. And when we clap, of course, don't clap unless you have rhythm, because it really disturbs everybody. But when you clap in front of the deities, then all the birds of sin fly away, and you walk away clean. So let's try this experiment. We got this place just for this floor. We didn't care about any other part of this temple. The main reason with this floor, it's a wood floor. I don't like marble floors. You can't dance on them. And so we're going to put away all the coverings, the asanas and this rug, and all the women can stand on this side, men can stand on that side. Unless you're with somebody and you want to stand together, it's okay. It's not a big deal. And we're going to have a Hare Krishna dance party. What do you think? Okay. We'll meet you back here in 2 minutes, and we'll all be ready to go. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Who's it for? Here, I'll give you a piece of paper.
Do you see him?
No?
Who's going to sing?
I don't know. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jai Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stotra Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Shtotra Shata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki. Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the Sambhura Bhagavan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to offer the prayers to Lord Nrsingadev on behalf of our god sister Tushti Devi Dasi, who passed away earlier this week. She was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. She and I were initiated at the same yajna with Srila Prabhupada, and if we could all offer these prayers for her safe journey back to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and her service with him. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Namaste Nara Simhaya Namaste Nara Simhaya Prahlad
सिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरेणका अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्याकशिपु तनवेदा ओके शबदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कम केशवनीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे ओ केशवनीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवनीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे ओ केशवनीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवनीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय जय नृसिंहदेव 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 जय नृसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद ओ नित्य गौर हरिदास 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 गौर हरिदास नित्य गौर हरिदास 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 गौर हरिदास श्री नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की।
Hare Krishna. Please, everybody be seated for 2 minutes. We're going to have prasadam, but we're going to have prasadam prayers before that. And I'm pretty sure I'll just make these announcements very quickly. Please be seated. First of all, let's thank Srikar Prabhu for leading such a blissful Nasimha Aarti and his team.
हाय बोल।
Yes, of course. First, we need to thank our speaker for tonight, His Grace Vaisesika Maharaj, for coming here back. Definitely. He did take a wonderful lecture reminding us to be situated in our place and pay attention to Shravan. Keep listening to the lectures. And yeah, if anybody has missed this experience, they definitely gained it through online YouTube channels. Of course, it's all possible to the team, our broadcast team, His Grace Charuni Mai Prabhu and His Grace Ramananda Prabhu. Let's give a big hands for them. Hi, bol. And do I see any newcomers in the audience today? Anybody here for the first time? Please raise your hands. Yes, I do see so many of them. Welcome to the temple. We are so happy to see you here. So let's all chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, just praying to Lord Radha Madan Mohan that they keep coming back and they find what they are looking for in this community. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now, you all know, you are very, very aware, you are looking for Sunday Feast, which is not possible without our Sunday's Feast sponsors. And today we have Sam Tapalia. Are you here, Sam? Yes. Sam Tapalia sponsoring Sunday Feast on the event of her wife's Yasmin Tapalia's birthday. Yes. Very well. Sam, would you like to say anything? Few words, requesting any? No, you can use the mic.
Yeah, if any of you could give warm wish and blessings for my partner here, that would be great. May she gets to live more than 100 and I get to be with her.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for being so generous and being here. And also we have another sponsor, Kaushik and Manjula, right? Yes, they are sponsoring for the 3-month-old birthday baby. Yes. Would you like to say anything? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Seek all your blessings for our newborn daughter Akshara Kannan, and may we all continue to be devotees. So seek all your blessings. Hare Krishna.
Yes. This is our Mahaprasad, and this is the deity Damodar. Thank you so much. And Sam here also for you. Yes. And also we have, I think, last week, we had our Shyam Bhakt Prabhu's birthday. Yes, he's here. So he is sponsoring also today's Sunday Feast. And yeah, please give it up. Everybody, yes. Yeah. He's not only just sponsoring it, he's also cooking it. So he did take another extra step. Prabhu, would you like to say something?
Our family's heart is full of gratitude and thankfulness for all the things ISV has provided. We are grateful. We are thankful that we are able to serve Lord Krishna. Thank you. Please bless our family. Thank you.
By the way, that's his 50th birthday. Hi, Bol. Yes. So, yeah, now we are going to go to our Sunday Feast, but before that, we have to show our gratitude to those who cooked today, made it possible. That's sumptuous prasadam. So we're going to hear who cooked today, all the chefs.
Hare Krishna. The cooks that cooked today's prasadam was Ananda Vrindavan Mataji, Shamakarna Mataji, Madhavi Manjari Mataji, Gopi Priya Mataji, Sheetal Mataji, Harini Mataji, Sugaba Mataji, Hitesh Prabhu, Shriram Prabhu, Divyanand Prabhu, Tarun Prabhu, Suraj Prabhu, Ravi Prasad Prabhu, Rasamrit Sesha Prabhu, Brajras Bhavana Prabhu, and Shama Bhakta Prabhu. Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. And yeah, before we go to prasadam prayers, first let's all thank all the audience here who have come on Sunday for the Sunday lecture here. Your presence truly makes difference. So let's all give it up for yourself. Hari Bol. Thank you. Yes, so now we're going to go for prasadam prayers. Who's leading the prayers? Yeah.
Yes. Thanks.
Sharira Vidyaja Jorendriya Daika Jive Vile Vishaya Sagore Dharmadhi Jivayati Obo Mai Sudurmati Jita kathina sansare Krishna varadoyaman Kori bari jivajan Swaprasadana dilobhan Seyanamita Radha Krishna Gunagam Premera ko Shri Chaitanya Nita Premera ko Shri Chaitanya Nita Mahaprasade Govinde Namah Vamane Vaishnava Swarpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwaso Nivajayate Prasade Sarva Dukhana Manirasya Pujayate Prasanna Chitta Soyasu Bhuti Paya Krishna Prayopa Bhutta Shaikanda Vasuvantara Shachate Jista Bhujina Dasa Stavamaya Jayana Shushkam Parishidam Vapi Nitam Vadudeshakam Bhakti Matrena Bhaktavyam Natrakala Visham Nadeshaniya Mastaka Nakalaniya Mastaka Bhaktamanamritam Shushtar Bhaktavyam Hari Raghavi Bhagavad Shri Mahaprasad Ki